and have a nice day. Today we are going to see Grade to English. How many of them like stories? I think everyone loves stories. Today we are going to see an interesting fairy tale, Cinderella. First we should know what does mean fairy tale. A fairy tale is a story written for children. It has imaginary characters such as elves, witches, and fairies. These tales usually have magic or magical times in the story. Fairy tales are often traditional. Those fairy tales were passed on from storyteller to storyteller before being recorded in books. The Cinderella also one of the most famous fairy tales for children. First, let us introduce the characters from Cinderella. First character, Cinderella. She is a beautiful, loving, kind-hearted girl. The next character, stepmother. She is very cruel to Cinderella. The next character, stepsisters. They too ill-treated Cinderella. Prince. He loved Cinderella very much and he wished to marry her. Fairy godmother. She fulfilled all the wishes of Cinderella. Now, I will explain you a short summary about Cinderella. Once upon a time, there was a simple and beautiful girl named Cinderella. She lived with her evil stepmother and two stepsisters. The stepmother did not like her and made her do all the household work. Her stepsisters just never had to work, they just roamed around the house in their fancy dresses. They always made fun of Cinderella because of her plain dressing. One day, a letter from the king came to their house which said that the king is having a ball tonight and his son, the prince, would be choosing a wife. Every girl in the kingdom must be aware. Everyone got excited about reading this. Cinderella too wanted to go to the ball. Her stepmother told her that she can go if she completes all her work on time and also helps her stepsisters with their dresses for the ball. Cinderella worked as fast as she could to get everything done, but there was always something left. At last, she was left at home. She was very disappointed. She was so sad that she ran to the garden and said, "Wishes never come true." "Never, my dear," said a voice. As Cinderella looked up, a little woman with a van and a kind smile stood in front of her. She was her fairy godmother. She wanted to help Cinderella go to the ball function. With a wave of her hand, she made Cinderella look like a princess. She gave her a beautiful new gown, glass slippers, and shiny black horses to reach the ball. Before leaving, the fairy godmother said, "This magic will only last till midnight. You must reach back home by then." When Cinderella entered the palace, everybody was awestruck by her beauty. She was the prettiest girl in the ball. Even her stepsisters didn't recognize her. The handsome prince also saw her and fell in love with her. All the other girls were very jealous of her beauty because the prince danced with her the whole night. She enjoyed herself so much that she almost forgot what the fairy godmother said. However, when she saw the time and remembered godmother's words. She quickly left the palace and ran away. In all the hurry, one of the glass slipper which she was wearing was left on the castle steps. The prince had fallen in love with her and wanted to find out who she was as he wanted to marry her. Next day, he ordered king's men to go to every house in the land and find the girl whose foot fits in the glass slipper. When they reached Cinderella's house, the two stepsisters tried their best to squeeze their big feet into the slippers, but they could not make it. Finally, when Cinderella tried the slipper, her foot fit perfectly into the glass slipper. The prince recognized her from the ball night. He married Cinderella soon in a grand ceremony, and they lived happily ever after. At last, we have learnt a moral from the story Cinderella. Moral of the story is kindness towards all matters. However, she was ill-treated by her stepsisters and stepmothers. She showed always kindness towards them. And the next moral, forgive others for doing you a wrong. They did lot of bad things to her, but she never changed her mind. She always forgive them. And the next moral is, don't let the bad things ruin your heart. If somebody ill-treated you, if somebody give you a pain, don't let your heart. She has a hope. Till the end of the story, she has a hope. So students, we should be always kindness to all the matters, and we should forgive others, and we never let the bad things ruin your heart.